Hello there, pre-matriculants. Welcome to Educate. In this video, we are doing non-conventional energy sources. In our previous video, we've already done the conventional ones, but now we are looking at the non-conventional ones. So stay tuned. So basically, when we're talking about the non-conventional energy sources, these ones are the less commonly used in South Africa. Usually, remember I said that the conventional energy sources are the ones that are used more often to generate electricity in South Africa. Basically, they're the ones that are generating our electricity, such as thermal energy, which is the coal, such as hydro energy, which is using the water, the flow of water, as well as nuclear energy, whereby we've got some nuclear radiators. But in this video, we are looking at these non-conventional ones. So these non-conventional energy sources, they are less commonly used. So they are not used so much often in South Africa, but they are alternative ways of generating electricity. So basically, the solar power is the first one that we look at. Solar power is just uses the energy from the sun, or it is known as the radiant energy. So if you see the term radiant energy, so don't get surprised. So they use the radiant energy, or they use the energy from the sun to produce electricity. So basically, this is how a solar panel looks like. Yes, this is a solar panel. So basically, a solar panel actually takes the sun, the energy from the sun, when the sun is hot and whatnot, and it converts it to electricity through some mechanism. So basically, solar power uses the energy from the sun to produce electricity. So this one has got quite a couple of advantages, because the sun's energy is free to use. Okay, basically, you know that the sun is open to everyone. The sun is free to use by anyone. I mean, like the sun is always there, right? I mean, like, let's just say in summer, the sun is there. You can just use it. You don't have to ask the government so that you can get the sun. You don't have to ask me so that you can get the sun. But maybe if you want to ask me, I'll give you permission. But basically, the idea is here. The energy from the sun is free to use, which makes the process to be very cheaper. So if you compare to other energy sources that are such as nuclear energy. Nuclear energy, remember we said that it is very expensive to build in our previous video, right? So the nuclear power stations and power plants, they are very, very, very expensive to build. But here, using the sun is just like having your solar panel and capturing the sun, and just like we fire up higher and then just wait for the sun to hit on it. And when the sun is hitting on it, you are generating electricity. It's very simple and it's easier to use. And then the process is also completely non-polluting, because basically there is no gas that is being released from a solar. Okay, just in a vague perspective, there is no gas that is being released. There is no waste that is being produced. So there's no pollution that is coming from a solar producing electricity. So basically, solar power actually is just taking the sun's energy when the sun is hot, and then after taking the sun's energy, it does what? It just converts it to electricity, and then boom, you have got lights that are on and whatnot. Okay, so that's a very advantageous thing. And then it can be used in a wide variety of locations over the world where the sun is present. Yeah, it can be used anyway as long as there's the sun, because solar energy or solar power just solely relies on the availability of the sun. So when there is no sun, there is no solar energy, there's no electricity generated by solar. But when there is the sun, there is the electricity. So it's very advantageous to use solar power. But now we also have got disadvantages as well. Basically, the cost of solar panels and equipment is very expensive. I don't know if this is overrated or what, but basically it says here the cost of the panels, these solar panels, are very expensive to buy for everyone. Otherwise, probably would have bought, all of us would be having solar panels in our homes and be generating electricity. All right. But see, we hope that, however, they will become cheaper in time. And then one of the most, or the major disadvantage of using solar power is that it can work only when the sun is available, because it actually relies only on the sun. So the moment the sun is not available, then the solar cannot be able to take some power from the sun, or from some radiant energy or some sun energy to convert it to electricity. So it's very disadvantageous. So it's this expense. We don't have money to be buying solars for everyone. Okay. And then now we do have another non-conventional energy source. This one is known as wind power. Wind power is basically the energy that is contained in the force of the wind. So basically, I think I once told you the idea of how to generate electricity is to just make something to be spinning and moving. So basically, you generate electricity by making something to be moving and spinning, simply that. So basically, as long as you can find an agent that can cause something to spin and move, then you can generate electricity. So just like the wind here, the wind actually causes this thing known as a turbine. This is known as a wind turbine. So this is known as a wind turbine. So it causes the wind turbine to move. So maybe when it is very windy, or maybe no more so basically it causes this wind turbine to be spinning all along and spinning and spinning and spinning. And once there is a spinning motion, you can be able to generate electricity. I'm not trying to teach you physics here. I'm trying to give you an idea of what electricity is. Electricity is just generated by getting something to be spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. So basically here, the wind powered electricity actually uses the force of the wind. So when air is blowing, or when the wind is blowing so fast and so fast and so fast, that wind turbine, that thing here that you can see, this thing known as a wind turbine, is start to spin, spinning, spinning, spinning. And when it is spinning, that spinning motion can be used to generate electricity. So a wind farm is basically that area. So it's known as a wind farm where we find wind turbines. So a place where we find a lot of wind turbines, where we find a lot of these white things here that are generating electricity, is known as the wind farm. Yeah, so we're actually farming the wind. That sounds fancy. So basically, a wind farm is a large area of land on which there are a number of wind turbines that generate electricity. So this is very advantageous because wind is free and is in abundance, just like solar energy, just like the sun. The sun is always in abundance. The sun is always there. The sun is always not that is always there. If there are clouds, you cannot be able to use solar power. But wind is usually there. Although sometimes it's weak, but is in abundance in most cases. So it's very easy to use. And then the cost for wind turbines are only initial costs, or maybe those the costs are the costs that you spend in creating the wind turbines. You don't really spend a lot of money in maintaining them. Okay, so you just have to spend money initially or at the beginning when you're going to buy a wind turbine or produce a wind turbine. And then once the turbine is built and is now there are low maintenance costs, or there are low costs to maintain the wind turbine. So it's not expensive. Even if I have to spend 50,000 rand to buy something, I spend 50,000 rand and I buy it once off. After I have it, I know I don't have to pay so much money to maintain it. Just like buying a car. Last year, I bought a car for 500,000 rand. I only bought it once off with that money. Right? And then after buying that car, maintaining is just like buying petrol for 2 rand or something like that. So it's not really costing so much money to maintain it. So it's an advantage because you only buy the wind turbines once, or maybe you build them once. So the initial costs are the only costs that are being involved. Otherwise, they are low cost to maintain the wind turbines. And then these wind turbines, they produce energy without damaging the world's environment, because these things are just spinning on their own. They're not releasing any air pollution. They're not causing any air pollution. They're not causing any problem. Okay, so they are just not damaging the world's environment. You don't even require to dig the land so that you can build this. You just dig a small portion whereby you're gonna put this wind turbine. But otherwise, you don't need to dig up a lot of space and remove and destroy the environment like in thermal power stations. So the wind turbines, they produce energy, but they do so without damaging the world's environment. But they do come with disadvantages as well. Hey Lapo, I know that you've been enjoying this wonderful video, and most likely you've been enjoying watching this handsome face in front of you, but sorry ladies, I'm taken. I just here to tell you that Educate is on the road to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2025. So please click the subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you get notifications whenever I post new videos. I want you guys to pass. Okay, so if you make my dream true, I reach 100k subscribers, I will make your dreams come true. I will even get you to varsity. I will get you with 7 distinctions. Yes. Basically, some pollutants are given off into the atmosphere in the creation of a wind turbine. This one, I kind of doubt it, but write it down because you'll need it for your exam, okay? So basically, they suggest that when you are building a wind turbine, some pollutants are being given off. Maybe when you are building or when you are creating this wind turbine, there are pollutants or there's dirt that is being released or waste that is being released into the atmosphere. That is something that is not that much of a concern, at least to me, but basically some pollutants are given off into the atmosphere when you are creating wind turbines. And then the wind turbines, they can also be noisy because these are actually spinning all around, and they'll be like making noise, okay? So they are noisy as well. So wind turbines can be noisy, okay? So they can produce some noise pollution. We say that they're not polluting the world's environment, but noise pollution is not like, it's not like you're gonna die from noise and stuff like that. Okay, just go get some earphones or something. So basically, the wind speed is not constant. This one is a major concern. The wind speed is not constant, meaning that sometimes it is not windy, sometimes it is windy, sometimes kunomoya, sometimes awukho. So basically means that if I'm building a wind turbine, I expect to see the wind each and every day. And then if it happens that there's no wind today, then it means that the turbine will be just spinning a little bit. So it will be generating little electricity or small electricity, all right? But basically, if there is a lot of wind, I know that it's spinning so fast. And when it's spinning so fast, I know that there's more electricity that is being generated. So basically, the wind speed not being constant at all times actually poses a greater disadvantage. So these ones are non-conventional. Okay, so these ones are what? These ones are non-conventional energy sources. We say that they're non-conventional, they are not commonly used. So you can see why they're not commonly used, at least in South Africa, because basically the solar power, it only depends on the sun. When the sun is not there, it cannot work. And then the wind power depends on the wind. When the wind is not there, it cannot work. So it cannot be a reliable source of electric power or electricity in South Africa. But at least we know that if we get some coal and we burn that coal, we will be able to generate electricity. Okay. But here, if you're going to use these two, so it means that when it is winter, let's just say it's raining, there are clouds, there is no sun, it means that we won't have electricity for that day because we are using solar. Or maybe when there's no wind, let's just say, so we expect all the days of the year to be like having windy days so that you can have electricity. So it's a non-conventional energy source. We don't use it that much because it depends on something that is not always available. Okay, so they are non-conventional. We don't use them because they depend on an agent that is not always available. But it is your responsibility as a grade 11 learner to be able to invent us a solution that can be able to replace coal-fired power stations, because our coal in the country is being depleted. We can just say in the next 21 years, we will not be having enough coal to be able to generate electricity. There will be a lot of power cuts. There will be a lot of load shedding. How can you fix that? But just get the idea. For you to produce electricity, you need to just get something to be spinning. But anyways, for this, you need to look at the effects of using those non-conventional energy on the economy, because they do have a greater effect on the economy. So basically, if we start turning to use these energy sources such as solar energy and wind energy and whatnot, it will lower the demand for fossil fuels, which will help resolve the problem of global warming. Remember, why am I so against this coal-fired power station? It's not me, but basically, they were one of the SDG goals is to produce cleaner energy. Basically, the energy that is produced using fossil fuels, such as coal and whatnot, the burning fossil fuels actually leads to pollution, release of carbon dioxide. carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. It always traps heat. So there's global warming. So basically, there's just an increase in temperature all over the world and all over the earth. Why is there an increase in temperature? Is because we are generating electricity using those conventional ways, such as thermal power stations, such as coal, because those ones are the only reliable ones so far. So if we start turning to use these non-conventional energy sources, I'm talking about the solar and the wind, it will lower the demand for us to use the coal and the fossil fuels. And this will actually reduce the temperatures of the world. It will also reduce the importing of expensive fossil fuels such as oil. So some of the energies generated, they use oil. Basically, we need not using oil per se, but oil is part of the ingredients that we need to be able to produce electricity. And we're not having an abundance of oil in South Africa. Basically, oil is not so much in South Africa. So we need to import oil. Okay, we need to import oil from other countries. Importing simply means that we are buying the oil from other countries. We are buying it into this country. So if we start turning to these non-conventional energy sources, such as solar power stations, or such as solar energy, such as wind energy, we won't need to get such fuels that are so expensive, because oil prices, they actually kind of increase each and every day. If you watch the news, they always complain about oil prices. And then it will also reduce the poverty level. In some way, definitely we'll have an increased standard of living, because we'll definitely have enough electricity to run our companies. I mean, people like us, we've got companies, we need reliable electricity. And when we keep on having these power cuts from Eskom and coal-fired power stations, it actually affects us and it keeps us as poor people. But the moment we use those non-conventional energy sources, such as solar and wind, will start becoming richer, because we will now have a reliable supply of electricity. But I've already told you the challenge. We cannot use the solar when the sun is not there. We cannot use the wind when the wind is not there. So it's a disadvantage. But they do have a good effect if we were to start using them on the economy. But they cannot work, they cannot be reliable for us, because we know that they all depend on something that is not always there. The sun is not always there, the wind is not always there. But you are there to be able to invent us a solution in the next couple of years. So thank you so much for watching this video, a wonderful Prometric Lens. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends to also stay tuned.